I'm amazed at the problems Europe has found itself. Now, you got to remember that Europe were or was Europe, the various powers, France, the Dutch, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Britain, they were the colonial masters. And they always lecture the third world countries, the colonies, that you need to run things the way we do, and so on. And now that they're running theirs to the ground, it's imperative that they make it work, because we are looking, the third world is looking and saying, oh, they're having all kind of problems now. Oh boy, there's trouble, Greece and all them. And if they had some good theological, because you see, Europe is special opposed to Asia and other parts of the world. Europe had the Christian Reformation, and in its wake you had the Renaissance, the Industrial Revolution, the Management Revolution, scientific Revolution, and all these things that catapulted them. I think they went almost to the moon, or almost to heaven, with the Reformation. Because after about 25 to 30 years, the Christian Reformation was subverted, and there was a decline immediately, but they were so high that they were able to very slowly descend, and they were able to go far and whatever, but they started to decline immediately, and they're almost back like into the Middle Ages. They want to bring back systems from the Middle Ages, political correctness like the Holy Index and the Holy Inquisition and so forth. And so this image here of Daniel 2, God made it clear that the head, and this was given in the time of Babylon. He said the head is you, Babylon, and then the arms of silver was Medo-Persia. And he made it clear that, you see, from gold it stepped down to silver, and then to bronze, which was Rome, and so which was Greece, and then iron, which was Rome, and then iron and clay, which is our time. He says just as how the materials declining in value, so are inferior the present as opposed to the past. But all humans are sort of of the same value. So what he was saying by inferior, I mean, there's no inferiority complex in the race. We all are the same. And when you look at Babylon today, or Egypt and Iran today, I mean, can you say they are superior to us? Because, I mean, look, Europe got some stuff that they don't even have over there. They could knock them from way up there to see what's coming and so forth. And so Europe is working hard to maintain this, like, but in the scheme of things, God is saying that these current guys were inferior to the other guys. And the important point about this, though, he says that how clay and iron can't mix together. He says, so they're going to try all kinds of things, marrying sons, marrying daughters over there. They're going to come up with all kinds of treaties and all that to increase Europe and make it into one big continent stuff. But he says, no, it's not going to happen, because as we know with Charlemagne and so forth, his sons, the fight and the marriage broke up, and they kept just splitting up. They never unite as one, according to the scriptures. Now they will come up with this European Union, and it's also a pie in the sky thing. It's not going to happen. No, it doesn't mean that you can't exist, in an amicable way and friendship and so forth. So the white guys in Europe still believe, I think they believe, like the Nazis, that they're super race. I mean, they may not want to say that we are super race, like Hitler was saying that, but deep down, they feel they're superior to everybody. And so their thing must work, and so they have to try the utmost to make it work. But when I reflect on how nations could be inferior to the previous, there are several things that I could look at, but I'll just try to look at two. I'm going to look at the assistance of technology and the degeneration of puberty, the devolution of puberty. You see, the Egyptians and the Babylonians, they charted the heavens. The Egyptians created the planting almanac, agricultural almanac, and they named the stars and the constellations, and they even calculated the distance of the sun and the moon. Now with computers today, you're discovering that they were just a couple, a little bit off, but they were very close. How they did it, I don't know. They had no computers. Folks had a breadth of mind that we can't understand today. So that we need these technologies to help us when they did it without technology. I mean, the pyramids, these big stuff. We have cranes today. How these guys got those big stones up there? You know what I mean? So the past, there's a lot we can learn from the past. And I'm noticing that we're trying to reinvent the past. In other words, The past has discovered that certain things don't work, and we're going back to those same things which they had discovered don't work. And I'm not getting to that right now. And now in the generation of puberty, in those days, puberty, people at 35 hadn't seen puberty yet, it seems. No ovulation, no menstruation, no spermatozoa, no ejaculations, no forth. It seems. Because today you find that 8-year-olds now are having the periods and semen and so forth. And they're really hooking up and they're hugging up. And even in elementary school now you see them kind of kissing up and they're hugging up like they just can't do it without the other. But those kind of experiences were reserved for like guys 35 years old. Alright? And you had Abraham 100 and he had a son and so forth. So there has been a degeneration. Now, I'm not going to get into that now because that's something that we could work on in the future. And so Europe is working hard at working the union thing. They brought in Greece maybe prematurely. They had faked their reports and the whole 9 yards. But I did some research the other day on the internet, and a secular historian at the university, someone at the universities in California, talked about the Germanic tribes. There were 10 of them, like the 10 toes on this image here. And the Bible says that in another prophecy with a beast with 10 horns, that 3 were uprooted and 1 took its place. And yet this historian discovered that the Ostrogoths, the Vandals, and the Visigoths were destroyed. So the other 7 are the ones that, I guess, make up Europe. Britain has the Anglo-Saxons, France, I think, has the Franks, and the other 4 are somewhere else. I don't know, maybe the Lombards in Italy or whatever. But there's no way they're going to come together because apart from being the toes and 3 were uprooted, God says they can't unite because iron and clay can't unite, which is the dominant characteristic of this time, iron and clay. And so, I was just watching it Europe and sympathizing, they're working so hard. But I have a plan. If you listen to my plan, the environmental renewal, it could bring a little more hope to Europe. It could bring a little more hope to the Middle East where we could get jobs going. Because jobs is the key. And nations are broke. So listen to my video and follow me. I'm going to try to have a conference where we'll introduce to you this new approach that we need to go forward with to make us, give us another 40 years of prosperity. So Europe, I sympathize with you. I know what you really want to know, what you mean, but you know what? I'm not going to hold my breath. I already moved past that, and I'm saying like, just work with what you have. Don't think that you're going to bring it together. It's not going to happen. God says so, and you're seeing it's not happening because you brought in Greece, and it's a problem. And Spain and Portugal and Italy, all this financial thing, Germany's strong and all that stuff. So it's not going to happen, bro.